doubt about us, and now I'm right back at the start. Halfway through a bottle, baby, and nothing's enough. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy.
Alright, what is going on, guys? So today we are behind the wheel of this 2018 GT. Now, we just stopped by ID Motorsports and we're taking this thing for a drive. It has a Cobra Jet intake manifold. It's a 10-speed auto. It's a base model car, which I like to point out because these cars aren't crazy expensive. It's got long tube headers, so it has a solo performance catback exhaust, and it has Cook's headers, and it has a Rev Auto cold air intake to go with the Cobra Jet intake manifold. So it has the dual 60mm throttle body, which is just the stock GT500, go with the Cobra Jet. This thing drives like perfectly. I haven't even gone on it or anything. The only thing I did was switch it from drive to the sport mode here, which is kind of like going from a nice smooth ride to the mode that you want to have fun in. Granted, you can do it in both modes. It drives like stock. It's absolutely perfect. I've just been driving it around here in town and I have no complaints at all. So I did drive a Spone stock 2018 GT at Gary Yeoman's. If you guys haven't seen that video, you can go ahead and click the link thing right up there. So I'm going to be able to compare that directly to this car, which is basically a full bolt-on car. It's currently on 93 octane. You also have the option of putting an E85. This thing is a monster. So this car made 507 wheel horsepower through the 10-speed auto on a dyno jet, which is Massive Performance's dyno, which is the same dyno that we used for the Cobra and Turdzilla. It reads right about right. It actually read the same as the other dyno that the Cobra was tuned on. So their dyno's right on point. That's a lot of power for sure. So we're just merging on the highway right now. Like I said, this thing drives just like stock. I mean, we're just driving, 10-speed auto. Remember, you got a bunch of different gears. It just drives so smooth, and I really like the 10-speed auto in comparison to a 6R80, because it is a little bit fun because it has all these different gears and it's shifting. So Matt from ID Motorsports tuned the truck, and as you guys know, I love driving the truck all the time. He did a fantastic job on this, and they really got a big jump on the 2018 GT tuning. I mean, they had a 2018 GT right away, right when they were released, and I mean, this thing drives like perfect. And I know I've said that a few times. I mean, we're in drive, it's just like stock. I haven't even gotten on it yet, so you guys will get to see my reaction. So I was talking with Matt about doing this video for a while, and he told me last week that I better get down here to drive it with the Cobra Jet intake manifold before he puts the Roush 2650 blower on it, because everything's changing. So we'll probably come back to check out the Roush 2650 blower. So Matt is going to be going to the half-mile race with this, with a Roush 2650 blower on it, which is going to be really cool, up in Michigan, half-mile racing. Like this exhaust because it's fairly loud, but when you're just cruising, it's nice and quiet.
Doesn't drone or anything. That's what I really liked about it.
Yeah, but if you give it gas,
oh yeah,
it's there. It's there for sure.
And we'll have another strip around, then you'll slow down and we'll go through this curve.
So we just switched into sport mode. This is where things get wild because you can tell the shifting's different. You're driving around, it's a little bit more sportier. Holds the gears. All right, 35 miles an hour. All right. that's really cool. Oh yeah, sport mode has the downshifting too, because right now we can. Woo, the craziest thing about these is how torquey they are. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, we don't lose much torque down low or anything like people talk about the Cobra jets. Oh, you lose torque. No, you don't.
No, it's got torque. Plus, it's an 18. It already has that bump of torque.
Yep.
And you can also command gears too, with like the paddle shifters, like second gear. That is so much fun, man. The thing I noticed, like the paddle shifters, they're responsive. It feels like you're driving like a BMW or something like that. It just responds right away. I think usually when you're at the track and racing, you usually want to just stick it in sport mode and just let the tuner do the work for your shifting. But sometimes it's a little bit of fun to just shift it yourself. Yeah, I mean it's loud too. Like you can put the windows down. Try not to make too much noise.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I just don't want any of that mess up my test track. That's why I don't do it over any poles down through the houses.
Yeah, only in Mexico.
That's
only
right.
in Mexico.
Only Mexico.
I mean, how does it do from a dead stop?
Good.
I'll try it.
It'll spin.
It'll spin a little, but... Oh yeah, remember to put it in sport mode.
Yeah. Just drive out of it. It'll be fun.
Alright, so we're trying to dig here in Mexico, of course. That's fast. That's moving out fast from a dig. That moved out really, really good from a dig in the street in Mexico, of course.
Yeah, the roads are pretty warm, so that's probably why.
That moved out pretty quick. It felt good.
Yeah, it did.
The tires in third. I mean, it moves, and we're shifting like what with the tune 7600. It feels so good. I mean, that is so much fun. If anybody says that automatics are boring, I mean, drive one of these. It's super fun. It's kind of fun driving in sport mode. I mean, it's definitely stiff, but it still drives and it's fun. I mean, you know, I just accelerated to 55 miles an hour just to cruise, and it's fun. Like, it's very, very quick, and that was like quarter throttle. The cool thing about it is, you have these two modes, which is basically drive in sport mode or like race mode. I know a lot of people, talk about getting, different tunes for like racing, or, switching tunes, which can take a while on these Coyotes because there's so many different things that when you flash the computer. This thing's really cool because you can go from basically normal or stock like drivability in the drive mode and then go right over to your race or sport mode and then have a lot of fun. And nothing stops you from having fun in the regular drive mode, but everything's just so much quicker in the shifts in the sport mode.
We try and combine as much stuff as we can into our tunes. Like, people talk about fuel economy tunes, this and that. I'm like, well, you don't really need it full on at cruise, so we can kind of give you the best of both. I mean, this thing's still, on the drive to Pensacola, it got 24 miles to the gallon with this exact setup. So.
Man, from a dig, I mean, on the street,
oh yeah,
this thing would mess up most other cars.
Especially too with when I got my race wheels on it. pared down. I mean, from a dig, I'll get up on like 2200 and let it go, and it just goes. Go ahead. I just sailed past it.
That's just in drive. That's fun. So that's about going to conclude the review on this 18 GT here. I had a lot of fun with it. This thing is pretty wild. I mean, this thing on the streets would be a insane setup, not to mention the track. So if you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. We post a lot of cool videos. Definitely check out the 18 GT, the bone stock car that we reviewed at Gary Yeoman's. If you guys do have an 18 GT and you're looking for tuning, interested in Cobra Jet intake manifold, call the guys at ID Motorsports. And their website's down below. I mean, they have a lot of good knowledge. He got a really great start to the tuning on these cars, and I mean, like I said, car drives fantastic and it is a blast. And we're not even on E85, it's on pump gas. This thing is so much fun to drive. So anyways, we'll catch you guys later, and we'll see you in the next video.